Hello and welcome to the Spot Show podcast, an independent podcast with a few pit stops along the way. I'm your host, Jim Mint 10 Dickie Wabash, joined as always by formerly fabulous Jason V, and we have got with us today one of the worst kept secrets in podcast history.
I thought we did a pretty good job.
I think we did a pretty good job of hiding who it was, but
except for that time you uploaded House Show.
And then it was
Remember
just
when
like,
you did that?
Oh, yeah. And he was like, hey, he's going to be on the podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, making his way back onto Spot Show podcast for the first time in like 2 years, Harker Dirge is with us. Harker, thank you so much for joining us today.
I think there's only one thing to say.
That's all you need.
I thought you were going to say one of the worst guests we could possibly have, but we're scraping the bottom of the barrel because everybody else has been mentioned.
Oh, Harker, there is no way that you would be the bottom of the barrel. But it's funny that you say mentioning people because what I was thinking that this podcast could be is just because
Just name drops all day.
Just name drop for an hour. Just all the people.
Did I ever tell you about my story about Mo from Men on a Mission?
Yeah, you did actually. You told us that one last time. But no, this was
How about when Luna Vachon said I had sexy tights?
no, that one you did not tell, actually. Do we want to get into that straight out the gate, or do we want
Oh, you
to?
can't wait now, can you?
No.
Let's wait. Let's wait till the
Okay.
end.
Oh,
If we remember at the end, we'll tell the story. It's not much of a story.
You got your
You gotta
notebook this
hook 'em.
time?
what's that?
You got your notebook
I
this
do
time?
not have a notebook.
We-
We are going to forget.
We
And
have,
then
read one.
we have a thing that we've been doing ever since I've been standing into the shoes of Madrox, or the shoe and a half.
shoe and a half.
Shoe and a
yeah.
half of Madrox. We talk, that's a good story. Let's go ahead and talk about that on Page Show. And then we get to Page Show and we're like, well, what are we going to talk about? Oh, I don't remember. So we should write it down.
Absolutely nothing.
Yeah. So no, this is because let me begin by saying thank you for joining us. I know
De
that
nada.
you've hey, I was trying to think of a good Spanish phrase and it just
You
slipped
want
my
me to
head.
call Cecil up?
And we could, hey amigo. But no, like you've
Gracias a mil por estar aquí.
yeah, that was something that we learned last time that he was on, that you're a big Spanish speaker. And I was just, I went into the bathroom here at Casa de Dirge and I saw the Spanish book in there on the sink.
Read
So,
my literature.
but no,
I understand it better than I speak it, though,
Really?
because I don't have a conversation partner. So I just I learn the basics, and then I watch most of the entertainment I watch is Spanish speaking because I just enjoy it, and I'm sick of hearing American English speakers all the time.
yeah. But
So I understand it better than I speak it. But
I think a lot of people are like that with a foreign language,
That's
honestly.
the way it is with a lot of people in Japan.
Oh,
as
look
a
at
matter
that.
of fact.
Dropping where I'm going to be by the time you guys hear this.
I can
they
count
always-
to 6 in Japan, or in Japanese, not in Japan. I'm not over there.
Yeah.
Do it. Let's hear it.
What's that? Well, you put me on the spot now. It's ich, ni,
San,
san,
shi.
shi, do, rock, and then
Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la,
I don't know what it
da.
is after that.
Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do.
That was 8th grade English class. We had a Japanese exchange student.
Eighth grade
he
English
told
class, you learn Japanese.
Yeah.
That teacher
America.
sucked. It's supposed to be teaching you American. But they
That's
always
American.
said Giant Baba pretended he didn't speak English, but they always said, but he understands every word you say. And I used to think, how can you understand a language without speaking it?
But now you get it.
Now I get it.
They would say that. Now, would that be a thing of, because the big thing you hear about Tajiri is that he would, if he wasn't comfortable with you, he would pretend he didn't understand English or that he didn't speak it.
Oh, that's pretty common. With
That's pretty common with a lot of Japanese workers from my.
I think so, but I know I used to watch the YouTube Asuka channel, and Asuka was that way. She was shy about English, but then I looked it up, and somebody said, and this is just what somebody said. Somebody could correct me if I'm wrong, but most Japanese don't like to make mistakes in public. So if they're not comfortable with their language in front of people they don't know, they won't speak English at all because they don't want to make a mistake.
They definitely are a culture because obviously I've been reading up on the culture since I'm going, and like they are very much a by the books culture of where it's like we don't, we honor is the big thing with them of like where we don't want to make a mistake. We want to try to be as, respectful to what we're doing as possible. So that adds up.
Man, that's
that
the
adds
exact
up.
opposite of American, because we will go out there
100%.
and we will talk stupid about whatever subject, and we will just not accept no for an answer.
Yeah.
I'm right, you're wrong, shut up.
Yeah.
That don't sound very patriotic.
No, not at all. On America
When I
250.
was a kid, and this is interesting, when I was a kid in kindergarten, they gave me a crayon box with 13 colors, and I threw away 10 because the only ones I needed was the red, the white, and the blue.
He's always ready for a promo.
Oh, man.
He's always ready for a promo.
Man, I need to tell you about my friend Rick.
I need to know about Rick.
Rick White and Blue.
Rick White and Blue. He was down at the Tigertorium last week in the middle of the monsoon, the gorilla monsoon.
Yeah.
And,
Gino, brother.
And he didn't get to do the debut because nobody set up the ring. But we were there. He was going to do a 250-minute Iron Man match against Tribal Chief Cecil for the NVW Championship, and it didn't align. Things didn't happen.
You know what has not changed? He's still got Harker face whenever he's trying to register how stupid something is that's being said to him. That's one of my favorite things. When you
I don't play poker.
when you get the Harker face, this is what would happen. This is why I love you so much. It would always, like, you would propose like an idea for like a spot or something, and he would do the Harker face and he'd go, yeah, or and then you would go into an alternative.
No, when he said 250-minute Iron Man match with Tribal Chief Cecil, I thought, those nukes can't come fast enough.
To be fair, he has known me for close to 20 years, so it is, he understands the level of stupid that I can get to.
Oh, fair.
Yeah.
Fair, very fair.
I've been in a ring with you at least a couple
understands
dozen
that too.
times.
Yeah.
I got a couple of those points. I actually made a few notes because if you listen to the interview we did with Cecil last week,
I
it's
hope to
really,
do that. Can I please?
Can you?
Yeah, it's all uploaded. It's up. Yeah.
I felt like the fly on the wall. Like it was the story of Dickie and Cecil, and here I am to do sound bites, and I'm doing my best to not do that this time. So I brought notes. So if we work them in organically, then I'll take it.
Yeah. The funny thing about the Cecil interview is that, he just went through this big health thing. He's fine now. He's all good. And we were like, listen, it was 5 minutes before we just pounced on him and started making fun of him because I told him, I was like, I said something about what he went through, and then he goes, yeah. And then he just pauses, and I go, care to elaborate, Willie? And then he just,
No.
it was just 5 minutes into the podcast or whatever
What does
it was.
elaborate mean?
Yeah. So yeah, Harker, how have things been since the last time that you were on the podcast? I mean, what's life? What's Harker like outside of wrestling? What's that whole journey been like?
Happy.
Happy.
I think Happy Happy Joy Joy song would be appropriate right about now, but I'm not going to sing it. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Happy,
Ren and
happy,
Stimpy?
joy, joy. Oh yeah, I remember Ren and Stimpy.
I thought it was before your time. You're
I
a
was
millennial,
like right in that weird age group where I may have been a little bit too young for it, but I do remember it.
but you watched it anyway.
I did. Yeah,
That's
think
how I
everyone-
was with stand-up comedy. Back when I was a kid, we first had cable TV, and you could get the cable TV in every room. That was a fancy thing when I was a kid.
Ooh.
And they had stand-up comedy on every channel almost. And I was listening to Sam Kinison when I was 10.
Oh, Sam Kinison.
I think it warped me a little bit.
I found that Sam Kinison book at the sanatorium when we went there.
Yeah.
I remember that.
and
You
so
sent me a
I-
photo.
Yeah, as soon as I saw it, I was like, I got to send this to Harker. Unprompted, no context.
Just
and
a
he-
Sam Kinison
he
book
just-
that we found in an abandoned insane asylum.
Exactly where it should be. I've been feeding squirrels, man.
Yeah, that's what I was kind of trying to get into here. We got to talk about this new life that you found where, like, literally we walk in here. We're not even here 30 seconds and he's already like, oh, here's my squirrels. And then you just started feeding them, and you have the nuts and stuff by the back door.
Yeah, I got a squirrel feeding kit, almonds and walnuts and pecans, and peanuts is junk food to a squirrel. That's like McDonald's. You don't want to feed them too many peanuts.
Yeah,
they'll eat
we got the breakdown that only certain squirrels get certain nuts.
Oh yeah, they have preferences, and they have names. I named some of them. The special ones have names. The ones that'll come to the door. Some eat from my hand. I hand it to them. I enjoy squirrels.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you?
Man. So this is Harker after wrestling.
Some people think squirrels are like dangerous or something. They're afraid of them, but they're the most gentle animals. They're not like necessarily they're rodents, but they're not like rodents. They're more like cats of the tree.
Ooh.
And I'm a cat person too. But they really are like cats from the tree. If you're a cat person, you know what I mean.
I get that. I've never thought of it that way.
But if I reach down, if I have a walnut and there's one that'll come, you gain their trust by just being around and showing that you're trustworthy. And if I pick up the walnut and hand it to them, they come to the door and they'll take it from me. They're so gentle. You barely feel it. It's like a light worker. They've got that little 2-finger handshake, you know?
Oh, yeah.
There's your connection.
There's the wrestling connection.
The people that know Harker Dirge as the the brutal, bloody killer, the guy that was
I used to
going
light
around
people
and
on
around.
fire.
Yeah, light people on fire, going round and around with Sabu and things of that nature. And it's like now you're the lightest worker with the squirrels.
I remember when I first met Harker, we were on the way to the show, and I was riding with Bo Sawyer, and I had never really been smartened up to the handshake. I was still 2 months in the business, and he was like, hey, now Harker's going to be there, and when he shakes your hand, you don't do the normal, you got to do the light worker handshake. And that's what happened. I don't like the handshake in wrestling. Like, I hate people that do the like you just pointed out, like the little delicate 2-finger thing. It's like, no, come on. Like, but I will say this, when we got here today, I shook your hand and the worker is out of his handshake.
I'm as stiff as I want to be because I don't have to be light anymore.
There you go.
Oh, yeah.
What are we, 10 minutes in? We finally got the Harker voice. There it is.
Tell you about the handshake. I learned it when I was down at Skull Crushers School of Professional Wrestling in Gulf Breeze, Florida, with Exotic Adrian Street.
There's the first one.
And some of them, they taught you how to shake light. They said, because it's going to be, then that way they know you know how to work because you work light. And then as the years went on, that became out of fashion. And it would be, because guys, you'd start to work with guys that had gone to WWF and had trials and whatnot. And they'd been saying, man, shake my hand like a man.
Yeah.
So then the thing became shake regular. Now, I go to British Wrestling Federation in the United Kingdom, and I'm in the shake my hand like a man category. First guy I meet, I shake his hand like a man. And he goes, oh, you're a bit stiff, are you?
Man.
Like, oh, so you never know. Every area is different. That's one of the things you would learn when you travel wrestling. Most guys now, they're like, I'm a professional wrestler. Where do you work? Well, we've got a gym in Ipswich, Illinois, and we wrestle there once a month. Well, you're not in professional wrestling. You're a garage band. But when you traveled, everything would be a little bit different. It was a different spice everywhere you went. And so you'd have to learn the different customs. And yours might not match theirs.
Yeah, like...
It wasn't one size fits all. And there was no internet.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely traveling, I think, is the unsung art form of wrestling that really you don't see a whole lot of anymore. Like, I talk about Zach Abstract, like he's like a straight up road dog. He's driving 7-8 hours one way to go make this booking, but he's going out honing his craft. And when he calls him, he is an animal on the road. I've gone on road trips with him to shows, and we'll like get to my house and he's still got 7 hours before he's home. And we just went 3 hours from my house. I'm like, Zach, crash and get some sleep. Nah, man, I'm going to barge through. And I'm just like, holy.
How old?
Zach is 20, late 20s, I think. I don't know his exact age, but
he'll learn.
That's what we keep saying.
When we went to your debut show down in Marshall,
yeah,
that's one of the things that Oliver pointed out about Aaron Williams. That he was from Ohio, and my mom looks at me and she goes, that guy's not actually from Ohio. Where's he really from? I was like, no,
Ohio.
He's from Ohio. She's like, this is too
Ohio?
far for somebody to come for wrestling. I was like, no. This is what people do. That Zach
That's
Abstract
what used to be expected.
Yeah. Zach Abstract. So somewhere in like, what would you say, like Missouri? Is that right?
He's like on the like western side of Missouri. Yeah.
Yeah. So he's almost on the opposite. Yeah. He's on the opposite side, and then he was driving all the way over to Ohio to wrestle. I was like, that's what people do.
Pit stop in Terre Haute, pick me up. I ride the rest of the way with him.
And I never liked being that guy. I did a couple of those trips, but I liked being close to home.
The independents have such a bad reputation now because of the cosplay guys. The ones that say, like, Ipswich, Illinois, in a gym once a month, you think. And even online, I read comments online when I look at YouTube videos or things like that, and I see the $25 and a handshake or $5 and a handshake joke going on. That used to be something for us in a locker room, by the way, first of all, so that shouldn't be out in the public. But independents have such a bad reputation now that they think it's just something that the local yokels do, that I'm not surprised somebody thought, well, he can't be from Ohio. He can't be from such and such a place, because it's just bargain basement now.
Well, here's
But it
what
used
he
to be,
did,
there's indies now. They call it the indies.
Yeah.
I'm an indie wrestler, but you used to be a professional wrestler, and you're still trying to make money doing this and find avenues to do that while being a professional and acting accordingly.
Well,
And
then
it's a
here's
lost
what
art.
here's what you talk about. This is he came from Ohio, but he was in St. Louis the night before.
Yeah.
So he hit us on the way back and then went in.
But it's not surprising that people don't respect it now,
Yeah.
considering some of the people that are being allowed into the rings. I mean, your neighbor's 13-year-old kid might be in a ring next week.
There's a lot of people that are not, they're not clued into independent wrestling, and they think there's backyard wrestling and there's WWE. And that's
fine.
it.
That's fine. You know, whatever they want to think. You can't control what's in somebody else's mind.
No.
You can't gain their respect to earn it. Whatever. But I don't want this to turn into a bitter.
No,
complaint
not at all.
fest.
But it
But
was going to get.
It's something that I've noticed. And
We talk about it all the time. I mean,
I'm an old timer now.
yeah, and then we talked about it last time that you were on here, and I don't want to recover a lot of things that we covered, but there was some things that I feel like that we didn't really deep dive
Did I
on.
ever
that
talk about my first match?
we're getting that. That's kind of where we're going here, because like I wanted to dive more into one of the things that you said the last time that really stuck with me was how wrestling has become easy come, easy go.
Yeah.
And you didn't really we glossed over a lot of, it's like I went to Adrian's, I trained, and then I moved up here, but we didn't really get into the weeds of your first month or two in the business. And that's what I'm really fascinated by, and what I want to hear about is your first go around, your first, we can go match, we can go your first match, or the first time that you really had to hit the road. And for those of you, I mean, this is audio, he's bringing up on a map, and I'm assuming what you're going to reveal here is where you had to drive for your first ever match. Because wow,
I trained in Gulf Breeze, Florida, and my first match was in Harrison, Arkansas. And as you look, if you take US 49, it's 11 hours, 7 minutes to get there. Wow. We left at night, 11 hours, 36 minutes on US 45. If you take the Pensacola airport, it's 6 hours, $655 for the flight now. But we left at night. Our wheelman, there were 3 of us from the training school. One of them was already experienced, and he was Adrian's co-trainer. He was the wheelman. He was going to drive, but he worked up the road at the Kmart unloading trucks, and he couldn't get off until a certain hour. So we left at night to get there. We left at 8:00 at night, and we were going to drive all night. We're 2 hours on the road before the other passenger says, "Did you just notice that sign says south?
oh,
we need to head north." So our 11.5-hour drive turned into a 15.5-hour drive.
You had to backtrack.
To backtrack, find the right route. We got there, I don't know what hour in the morning. I couldn't even tell you. It's a blur. The promoter had hotel rooms, so he let us up in a hotel room. I couldn't sleep. I was going to have my first match.
Yeah.
So now I've been up all this time.
What's this, 96 or so?
November 18, 1995.
5, okay.
And so, yeah, that's driving.
Wow.
Just to make a short story long.
So for $25 and a handshake, right?
No. I don't remember what I got paid, but then I also got a T-shirt.
The T-shirt's
And
what
a
matters.
buffet meal, which was a buffet meal
And a
and
meal
a Pizza
and a
Hut
gift.
afterwards. And a hotel room for 2 nights. But the promoter, that wasn't typical. The promoter was a fellow graduate of Adrian's school.
So he was taking care of the boys.
Yeah. And the show was at a community college gym, so it was actually a really nice venue. I was spoiled right off the bat. And the ring was a former WWF ring, so it was nice.
Yeah.
I thought it was always like this. No, it wasn't always like that.
So I went to GAW one time and got paid in cookies because they forgot to promote. That was one of the better shows.
I had that forgot to promote one time too. A group of brothers, Steve and I can't remember the guy, Missup, promoted out of the Chicago area. And we got there and I always get there way early.
Mm-hmm.
Always
if you're
have.
on time, you're late. So I would always be early and I'm talking to him and going, he's got all this ideas for booking and what he wants to do in the show. And I said, what did you use to promote? Where did you promote? And he goes, oh my gosh, I forgot to promote.
Oh no.
I said, well, that could present a problem.
I can top this story, but go
So
on.
I said, did you print flyers at least? Yeah. I said, let's go walk up and down the road and put flyers on the fence posts out here, or the utility post. So we walked. I took the promoter out and showed him how to put flyers up. And one guy showed up paid. He had been to bingo the night before and seen a flyer sitting on a table. So it was one paid. So we worked for him and friends and family. But the promoter still paid me what he had promised to pay me. So he was an honest guy. And he continued to run shows for quite a while after that, a couple years after that. But he learned a hard lesson. Mm-hmm. He learned a hard lesson that night.
Yeah.
And I was wrestling against Sonny Rogers, who was a real good independent wrestler from the Chicago area. He was a veteran. He had been in the ring since the early 80s, mostly working for carpenter jobs. They called them carpenters back then. They call them job guys now for WWF, AWA. And Sonny holds the victory over Steve Austin.
Oh, wow.
By forfeit. When Steve Austin was first doing this, you can find this on YouTube if you look it up. When he just started doing the Stone Cold type gimmick, he got in a ring. I think he kicked the crap out of Sonny and then left the ring and said, I'm not going to work a piece of trash like this. And they announced Sonny as the winner.
A win is a win. That counts.
Hey,
But Sonny
win
was a
is
good
a
worker.
win.
He was no piece of trash. He was a good worker. But yeah, it was me and Sonny in front of one paid.
Man, as far as lowest crowd, with highest ceiling, lowest crowd, it was one in northern Indiana that I had worked. It was for a biker rally. That was one, if you remember Brandon Keith.
Mm-hmm.
Brandon Keith I think I was supposed to work with him, and he gets there, finds out it's a biker rally, and he has let's say a very good tan, and he didn't feel comfortable being there.
I want to smarten the people up. Mm-hmm. Brandon Keith was an incredible looking guy, 6'5".
Oh yeah,
probably 235 pounds, in athletic condition, a former football player, half black, half white, and he looked the part 100%. And I tried to train with him a little bit and try to teach him a few things and encourage him, but he just had two left feet when it came to professional wrestling. But he looked like $1 million. Always had boots, nice tall boots, trunks. Looked the part 100%. Go ahead.
Yeah, day one coming in, like he was already above the rest of us at our little ragtag group. But so there's thousands and thousands of bikers, over here, and then there's a set of bleachers, and then behind it there is the ring, and there were 6 soaking wet fans, which I think came with wrestlers, and they did not care what was going on.
So what did Brandon do? Brandon didn't want to wrestle?
No, he looked around. He said, I didn't know this was going to be like this. I don't feel comfortable. I'm leaving. So he turned around and drove.
The stereotype of bikers,
yeah,
like may not play well with.
Yeah.
I get that. I get why that would be. Not saying, but I'm. And now you got me racking my brain. What would have been the lowest crowd? What was that draw in Wisconsin?
Oh, that was a pretty good one. The one with Perry Saturn?
No, that one was good. I'm talking about the old story that Brian and I tell all the time.
Yeah, this one can make a comeback. Go ahead and tell this one.
I haven't told this one in a while. We get there and Brian's like, so how's the house going to look tonight, brother? And he goes, 400 easy. We're like, okay, cool. So then we get going, and then unprompted, he's like, yeah, we're probably going to have about 300 tonight. And then we're like,
200.
And then Brian kind of looks at me and gives me an Iggy, and I'm just like, what? So then a little bit later, he goes, I'm expecting about 250 tonight. And then it kept going down. Then Brian just finally calls him out on it, and he's like,
called him out to his face.
Yeah, right to his face. That day, that was my biggest payday that I'd ever gotten.
We almost broke 100 that night. I think it was like 80 people ended up showing up. that we had the big part of the story is
Wait, that was your biggest payday?
To that point.
To that point.
To that point.
How much was that?
$20.
Well, and a handshake or a hot dog. There we go again.
Yeah.
But there was there was no locker room, of course, because independent
never
wrestling,
is.
you don't think about that stuff. There was a 6-foot partition, and there was one little break in it with a bed sheet, and that was our curtain to come out. But there was one guy who played a character like an executioner. He had an executioner hood, and he was over 7 foot tall. So
He wasn't walking around with his hood on.
he's in the locker room, and you just see this floating head. Obviously, no hood anymore because he's in the privacy of the locker room. You see the floating head, like Jen from episode 3 of the IT Crowd. That's
It's the second week in a row
not.
you brought.
I have no clue what you're talking about. Don't let me know.
I will. I'll spark
don't
you
ever
up
wanna
after
know.
this.
He references the IT Crowd every podcast.
And I'm the only one that gets it. But it's so good. But yeah, so there's this guy, 7 foot tall guy. All you can see is his head over the partition, and people are like, "I think that's the executioner."
I love
Good
it.
show though. Good show though.
It was fun.
Good show.
It was a good show.
Good show. I took a 4-way super kick.
Yeah, we all super kicked Dickie just because we felt like it.
I got a lot of heat for that one too. I got a lot of heat for that.
That was one. Bring your own opponents because you don't want to work with what they got there.
Yeah, that was the infamous Wisconsin car trip. That was me, you, Cecil, Carrot,
Conrad,
and then Conrad. May he rest in peace. But
Conrad.
yeah, that was a good, and props to him. He drove that entire way. He didn't. He's like, nope, I'm driving.
That was a ride. That was a ride.
Yeah. I was like, I think I've told this part of the story too. I was fighting really bad poison ivy. Like it had just kicked in like right before we left. And then Carrot's like, Dickie, what's that rash on your leg? And he just kept spraying it with a spray bottle. But no, yeah, up to that point, that was my biggest payday. And that was
and kick it with his feet.
Yeah.
There you go.
Up to my point, that was a 14-hour, 15-hour round trip for $20. That was my biggest payday to that point. My biggest payday to that point. And I was only like a year in at that point.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
That to hang your hat on.
Yeah. Yeah. So where'd you go? Wisconsin. And what did you get? $20. Because the carload.
And poison ivy.
And poison ivy. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
and I got heat with Cecil that day too because I only let him have $20 of our total payout because we got paid by the car. Indie wrestling, all bodies are interchangeable. And Conrad did all the driving. He was wear and tear on his vehicle. So he got the lion's share of that pay. I mean, I'm trying to be right by my boy.
You never really did do the car load a lot, did you? You always talk about how you would always drive separate.
No, because I was always into making money, which required me to bring a merchandise table with me. So I always had tubs worth of merch. And my wife would drive because she was the only person I trusted to handle my merch table and give me all the money that was owed. Because if you go, some people will go say, well, I'm going to bring merch and then I'll find somebody there to handle the money. You can't trust everybody.
No.
So we usually just drove as a couple. And that's how Adrian did it too. So that's why I learned from Adrian and Linda. We're always just a tight pair,
I'm sure you noticed this, but that really added to the mystery of Harker Dirge. Like,
yeah, it did.
Not just the in character bell to bell, like what you were, but like who are you when the the street clothes come on and the paint comes off.
I think it's important to separate your private life from your wrestling persona, even sometimes amongst the guys in the locker room, because they can be the most untrustworthy ones.
Without a doubt.
They're the gossips, they're the backstabbers, they're the ones that are jealous.
What do you say? You used to say this all the time back
Even if you don't give them a story to tell, they'll make one up.
The telephone game, tell your friend, tell a wrestler.
Yeah.
And that's how you get the information
Loose lips sink ships. That's what.
A lie travels all the way around the world before the truth ever gets its shoes on. Heard that one before?
Yeah, but also don't let the truth get in the way of a good story. That's a Dusty Rhodes one. But no,
that's one of my favorites where I'm just like, oh yeah, what did I do next?
Yeah. So tell me what I did. No, I will agree with you on that one though. That definitely did add to the mystique of not just Harker the character, but Harker the man as well. Of like, now would you?
Now How over would I be if the word got around I was feeding squirrels?
Yeah,
It's fair. That's fair.
Yeah. Marketability.
But to
Actually,
be honest, the squirrel feeding thing is just new. It's within the last year and a half, but
Yeah.
you know what I mean.
Yeah. Well, I mean, let's talk about, I mean, not necessarily squirrels, but I mean,
Most people that I ever work with, I'd say 99% of the people I work with don't know my real name.
I didn't know your real name, and I won't say it, of course, until probably 2 years of knowing you.
I was watching the Hulk Hogan documentary recently. Did you see that?
The Netflix one?
The Netflix?
I like it a lot.
I saw that on some Russian upload channel.
Oh,
there it
okay.
is. There it is.
I was watching it on my Russian channel, and they were talking to somebody. I don't know who he was. He was somewhat famous, I guess, a director or movie guy. And he said they were talking about. He says I don't even know his real name. He's talking about what a cultural
I know the part you're
character
talking
was.
about, yeah.
Was it Milos Forman?
I think that's who it was. That
Milos
sounds
Forman?
right.
We'll call it that. If we're wrong, who cares? Nobody's listening anyway.
Oh,
If we.
I listen every week. Okay.
And they say he says, "Oh, he was this character that I don't even know if he has a real name." And the guy off the camera says, "Do you want to know?" And he goes, "No, don't tell me, please."
yeah.
Keeps the myth alive, you know. I think that's important.
I've never heard anyone, even to give her credit, your wife, call you by your shoot name.
She knows better.
I think she slipped up once and said, "Hey, do you know where is?" And it kind of took me aback, and I went, "Oh, I think he's getting dressed or something." But it was just like a
She's
quick
been around
little
long
thing.
enough to know to
Yeah.
keep secrets, but
Now, would that give you not a complex? I don't want to say a complex, but was it hard to ever like to de-Harker, if that makes sense, to like be like, okay, now I got to live the real life. I've been living this character. Da da da. Was that ever a struggle, or was that easy?
I hit the neighbors in the head with a chair a few times.
There you go. That's what I wanted. That's the answer I want. That's the answer I want.
You did what? I want silence over here. I don't care if it's 4th of July. I'm going to stick those fireworks into the shadows, and then there will be light.
He can still just turn it on.
All the time.
Still just turn it on all the time.
It's mesmerizing. Any situation, any subject, he's got it. Remember the mug?
I'm looking at your mug right now.
That's
you got
right.
something on the back of your mind, huh? What are you thinking about, you mug?
Have we told the space
You know,
junk?
mug spelled backward is gum. Are you chewing gum right now?
Look at he's so good. Do you?
Yeah, I ain't got that in me. I can't do that anymore.
We've told the space junk story, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Well, where I was like, full of piss and vinegar,
Kick
been
you
in
right
the
in the
business.
space where your junk should be.
That's right.
I had asked him, I was like, all right, Harker, give me a word or phrase. I'm going to work it into a promo tonight. And he just, Harker face again, space junk. And then I'm
Final
like,
frontier.
okay. And then I get out there, I couldn't do it. And I just walked back. He had a promo like 2 segments later, and he goes, I've been floating around there. He goes, things have been floating around in my mind a lot lately, kind of like space junk.
Space.
And then he looks at the hard cam because he knew that I was watching. It's just those little subtle
tremendous.
things that I absolutely love. I love it.
And it's humbling to anybody that isn't him.
Yeah.
For that.
Yeah, Harker
Because
has
you
humbled
realize
me.
no matter how much you think you know, you don't.
Well, the
Yeah.
thing is, the promo is the easy part, but most guys, I've talked to guys that made it to a pretty high level on their work rate, and they're afraid to do promos, but the promo is the easy part because you can practice that 24/7 if you want.
Yeah.
The promo's easy, and that's where you get over.
Yeah. I remember you had showed us, this was years ago. We had come over and we were doing like a content day where we were making things. And you had showed us like a promo that you had cut while you were training, and you were only a month or 2 in at that point, and you were incredible. Like, not to try to, stroke the ego or anything, but point blank, I mean, that, you were still a kid in training and you're just cutting a promo like it's nothing. It also helped the fact that at 18 you looked 35, but
If you want to look like you never aged, look old when you're young.
yeah.
Was that
I
Arn
saw
Anderson?
King Kong Bundy say something like that once, except it was completely opposite. He said, I look like I never aged because I was always a fat ass.
One of Oliver Kane's and I's favorite things to do is to look at how old people were during like certain parts in wrestling. Like when we were talking about Hogan. When Hogan came back in 2002 and won the title, he was 47.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. He was 47, I think. And that's how old CM Punk is now. And he just won the title. So you hear about this whole age thing or whatever, but it's like Hogan came back in 2002 at 47.
Punk don't look young.
No, Punk aged awful. Punk aged terribly.
The bitterness inside of him is making its way out.
I mean, old Peptide Phil. That's what we've been calling him. But yeah, I really do think that there is something to say about like holding bitterness and holding stuff in that does age you. I do believe that.
Yeah. He got away with a lot. I mean, I'm not going to talk. I'm not going to say anything. Nobody.
Yeah, trust me. There's a lot of discourse online about him right now.
It's probably his chickens are coming home to roost. I've seen people's attitudes changing about him now, but he was always the kind of guy that would come into a locker room and impose his will.
Were you ever in a locker room with him? Oh no, you told this story where he got kicked out of a locker room, right?
No, we had him one time. Probably the controversy you're thinking is one time.
I remember the story now.
Tim Lyle's Powerhouse used to do the Comic-Con every year in Chicago, Rosemont.
I remember it now.
And he and some of the guys showed up and did a comedy match, and that's not what Tim wanted, the promoter. And Tim came up, what the heck was that? And they said, that was Toons, brother. I mean, they used to call them cartoons. And Tim said, don't come back. Get out of my locker room.
Okay. I remember that story now. I kind of jumbled it in my head, but
it was just a conflict of opinions. But
yeah,
even back then when he was a nobody, he kind of imposed his will, and it worked for him up to a certain. I mean, he's a millionaire now. Something worked for him.
You say to a point,
as far as the world goes. But I mean, what does that money and all that mean in the end? You know.
If you're not fully enjoying your life, you know what I mean? Like they say money can't buy happiness, which it can to a certain degree, but if you're still holding on to resentment and bitterness, I mean, I'm sure that money takes away some stress, but I mean, it's not going to take away an attitude or something that you have. You know what I mean? And you hear it all the time. Oh, he's changed. I don't want to turn this into just talking about CM Punk podcast, but because we actually did we actually did an entire podcast about a year ago when they did the Saudi show, and we did an entire subject matter of is Punk a hypocrite, because he talked about all this stuff about Saudi Arabia, but then he jumped right on the plane and went over. So
yeah, when it's benefiting you, when your morals are, they're malleable.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, again, this isn't about Punk. This is about Harker. Harker is here. You just mentioned him a second ago, your good friend, Tim Lyle, who has passed away. I only think I got to meet Tim like half-assed one time.
Probably in Georgetown.
It was in Georgetown.
Wrestled as a Russian.
I had come in. I was already out of the business. I had come in to watch a show, and I got to say hello to him. But you speak very highly of how he was with his promoting and stuff like that, about how like he was the one that you said, oh, sorry guys, small draw tonight. There's only 800 people out there.
400. But
or 400. Yeah, but a large amount of people. But I've taken some of that into how I am with promoting shows now. And like, I'm trying to bring back, how do I word this? I'm trying to bring back this era that you had talked about, of where it's like, sorry guys, low draw tonight, $400, because or fans, but you don't really see that. And I'm trying to bring back some of that old school promoting mentality with how I run shows. And you just don't see that much anymore. And I'm not begrudging anyone that
there's this little word called promoting that actually means something. Most people think it means booking or treating the wrestlers like your action figures and playing what you want. Promoting means getting the word out.
Yes.
You have to make contacts in your community. You have to have people helping you. You have to know the media. Newspapers were a thing back then. I don't know if they are anymore. Radio stations, TV stations. You've got to get the word out. You've got to know people. When they see your face as a promoter, they need to know you. Hey, Dickie. Hey, Tim. Whoever. And just make it a community thing. And that's what Tim did.
Yeah.
So that was a thing that we just recently talked to somebody who had a double shot super show booked a Saturday and Sunday show with a cage match main event, and he had all the storylines, all the workers booked, and everything from A to B, and how it's going to work all the way for 6 months and all that. Hey, buddy, we got to cancel the show. We don't have a venue. Well, why not? Well, I never got one.
Well, that puts a cramp in your style.
You're going the wrong way. Start with this. Put your action figures together later on.
Yeah, they think being a promoter means being a booker, and it doesn't.
A booker and a promoter are two different things. I do agree on that. That's how I do it.
Tim was a promoter, and you could go into whatever town he was promoting. You could go into town at the local gas station. You're not just going to see flyers. They're going to have a place you can buy tickets here. You know,
I'd like to get to that point with my stuff. You could go to 4 or 5 different
places in town, to the restaurant in town, and up front they say tickets available here.
Yeah.
So he's got people in the community working with him to sell tickets. And, they get a percentage in that. And back then, Illinois was tough because there was a commission existed.
Yeah.
There was a wrestling and boxing commission.
What was a ticket back then for a show?
I don't remember. I wasn't on that end of it. But I think it went up to $10. I think it was like $8 originally. It went up to $10. The state now used to get $1.25 from every seat sold.
Wow.
That was what you were paying the commission for.
Wow.
When I tell people Tim used to have 750 to 1,000 on these shows, they think you're telling big fish stories like Ricky Morton. Every time we went in was sold out. They was hanging from the rafters, had to close down all the roads because of the traffic. They think you're telling those stories, but no, because it was commissioned. It's a matter of public record. Because you had to pay tax on every seat.
Yeah. And that's what I'm saying here is I don't begrudge people that run these smaller venues now. Good for you. You're doing it, whatever. I'm in what I would consider a starter venue. And I love the venue that I am in. It's a very nice venue. I love working with them. I was
got running water and everything.
It does. It didn't have air conditioning at the last show though, and that was miserable. Didn't find out till I got there, but and I don't hold that against them, but where was I going with this? Yeah, but I straight up told him I was open right when I started. I was like, look, this is my starter venue. I want to outgrow this. I will never not run shows here though, because I've built this relationship, but I kind of have to, accept that if I'm 2, 3, 5 years in, if I'm still just only selling a little less than 100 tickets, then something's wrong. I want to outgrow this building. And then I want to get to a point where I'm outgrowing a 400 seat venue or a 500 seat venue or something like that. You got to. And I think you talk about the easy come, easy go with the working side of it. I see easy come, easy go with the promoting and the booking side of it. Anyone can go buy a ring now. I want to tell a story. You were talking about the promoter that forgot to promote and you had to go pass out flyers. I got one for you. I'm not going to name names. I asked someone.
Did.
Stick around for paid show.
There it is.
I'll tell everyone on paid show.
I'm going to pay him to mention it.
Oh, I love that. But I asked him.
Shiny nickel.
There you go. But I asked him, I was like, not a really good draw tonight. What do you think that is? Did you hung flyers and promoted, right? Well, I didn't bother promoting because I didn't think anyone would show up. Harker, if I'm lying, I'm dying.
I'm lying, I'm dying, and dying, I'm lying. Everything is in between and upside down, right?
Right into a promo. But that's an honest to God true story. And that's where the easy come, easy go that you talked about, it goes both ways. It's not only from the working side of it, but it's from the booking side of it as well. It's all easy come, easy go.
Well, the people are doing it, having fun, whatever. But don't call it professional wrestling. It's the garage band. Like I said before, it's the garage band theory. I'm a musician. I'm in a band. Where do you play? Oh, over here in the garage or down here at the club or my grandma's having a party. That's fine. You're still a musician if you want to be.
Yeah.
That still impresses the girls.
Well, up to a certain point.
Probably. That's what I thought. That's what I wanted to be a wrestler for.
That's what I told.
Didn't really work out too well.
Are you Brian or Jason V?
Whatever I want to be.
Interchangeable, really.
Brian,
V
what is this guy
recently-
doing?
Brian, what's this guy doing? That guy that was doing that main evented one of my shows not too long ago.
Yeah.
So
That's why
he's
you're not in a
turned the
400. That's why you're not in a 400 seat
Oh, man.
venue.
here's how I started with my promoting business. And I think that because
You cutting off my story. I told Brian one time
I'm
the
sorry.
wrestler thing only lasts for so long.
Oh, it sure
Do you
does.
remember that?
Oh, I remember that.
We were at the it was 01, right? It was
Zero
a party.
One.
It was one of the house party shows where the kids at ISU,
Yeah.
the frat or whatever, would rent us out for a house party.
One of my greatest moments and worst.
We'd wrestle out in the yard, and Brian lost his tights that night. He had
Yep.
some nice zebra tights.
and you
Oh,
have
it's
accused
giraffe.
someone of
Some
who took 'em.
giraffe tights I made him, and Brian left them behind. How'd that work? I said, son, you went back to...
We went back. So it was a double shot. One was in Charleston, one was in Mattoon. So anybody that's not in the geography, they're pretty close.
15 minutes.
Yeah, they're very, very close together. So we went to do the second show. I had my match there, got my payout, the show ended, came back to go back to the college party, go meet up with the girl, go get my, go find my tights and move on with my night.
You have no girlfriend at the time.
I had no girlfriend. That was, so I called him, in my headcanon, he is Scumbag 50 States V, who wanted to be like a real
worker.
he wanted to be a real worker
You're
like
like
Chase
Aaron
Stevens and have himself a girlfriend in all 50 states. And I had wrapped up Illinois. I said, this one's in the bag. So one down.
And you went back thinking you're going to go back being the conquering wrestler,
Absolutely.
looking for his tights.
Yeah.
And I said,
Giraffe tights.
and
no
I
less.
told him before he left, I said, look, the I'm a wrestler thing only lasts about a half hour after your match, and then the magic wears off.
Mm-hmm.
What happened?
She took her power nap. She went to the bar. All the boys came in clutch. The boys loved me. They're like, "Hey, funny guy." I was like, "Yeah," and they all handed me beers, and I said, "Thanks, buddy." And I slid them over to Cecil because I don't drink, but moved him over to Cecil, and so he got pretty lit by the end of the night. And the girl just she wasn't feeling it no more. I found her. She didn't care.
Once again, I'm not saying I was right, but I've been around.
That
Wise beyond his years.
wise beyond his years, Harker Dirge, to say the least.
I should never have dressed in drag and wrestled that woman. If I could have capitalized.
Well, we've all been there,
Yeah, haven't we?
haven't we?
Cecil went bra shopping with me that day.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. You think Dexter still has my photo?
Oh, the Jasmine G photo. Harker's rib for the longest was to try to get guys to wear a dress, right? Wasn't because you tried to get me with it. You were trying to I'll tell you what we do, Dickie. We do if you're a guy, the loser has to wear a dress, and then
Oh,
Way influenced by Memphis wrestling
yes,
and all that stuff. The spanking matches and dresses, men wears a dress, and all that was Memphis. I'm a big advocate of Memphis wrestling. Tacky.
This episode of Spot Show Podcast is brought to you by Big Red Soda. Let's be honest, wrestling fans are a little different. We spend hours debating matches from 20 years ago, drive hundreds of miles for shows in buildings that may or may not have functioning air conditioning, and somehow we consider that a good weekend. Big Red gets it. Big Red has been doing its own thing since 1937, delivering a flavor that's completely unique and impossible to forget. Grab an ice cold Big Red. Support the sponsors that support independent. And we're going to sweeten the pot for you. Any MadBash wrestling event that you go to until September 2026, any purchase at the merch table, doesn't matter what it is, a sticker, a shirt, a pin, a poster, you are going to get a free bottle of Big Red on us. Thank you again to Big Red for sponsoring Independent. This episode is brought to you by patreon.com/MadBash Studios. If you head on over to patreon.com/MadBash Studios, you are helping fund the definition of independent. Hundreds of hours of content starting at just $5 a month. you are going to get early, ad-free access to everything that MadBash Studios has to offer, on top of exclusive shows, starting at just $5 a month. That's less than a cup of coffee a month. You can go on over to patreon.com/MadBash Studios and you can support the dream of being unapologetically creative. Talk about being an advocate of wrestling, and this is the one thing that I find fascinating about you, and we broached the topic a little bit last time you were on, but I want to kind of deep dive into this a little bit more. You are a fan of Lucha Libre.
Yeah, I love the style.
The fact that you're saying that you like the style, I wouldn't label you as a big Lucha guy, so let's talk about that. Like, how did you discover Lucha? What do you love about it? What, stuff like that.
I think the first, I always respected the luchadores who would come over here. But the first I ever saw of it was probably in the early 2000s when I lived in Michigan and I was out on a farm, so I had to get satellite TV, and they had the Galavision and Univision, and they each had, one had CMLL and one had AAA wrestling. And I started to really enjoy the difference there.
Yeah.
It's not professional wrestling like we have. It's Lucha Libre. It's totally different.
So we do a show for our Patreon called Lucha Libre Book Club. It's myself and Kid Riot, where we sit down and we watch a Lucha Libre match every week, and we do look at this. Yeah, we got a Lucha book here.
Mondo Lucha Go-Go.
With a foreword by Kurt Angle.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. So
I got books. It's dusty. Tell it's been
I'm really starting to learn to appreciate the Lucha Libre style while doing this. I mean, we, like I said, we pick a match a week, and then we watch the match, and then we review the match for the podcast. So with that being said, if I were to ask you, what is a match that in your opinion we should do for this show? Like, doesn't necessarily need to be your favorite lucha match of all time or feature your favorite luchador of all time, but just a match that you really enjoy.
Man.
And then hopefully we can find it.
Probably something from the Worlds Collide pay-per-view.
Really?
It was electric. Do you remember that one?
Yeah.
You've seen it? Probably one of the matches from there with is the atmosphere. The fans are so far into it,
Yeah. What did you think of the
El Hijo del Santo and Blue Demon against Los Gringos Locos?
Is that the one you think that we should do?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll do that then. We'll do that. What did you think of the El Grande Americano match?
I didn't watch it.
You didn't watch it?
No, I'm behind. I'm going to break my kayfabe again. I've been going to bed at 8 o'clock at night. I wake up at 4 in the morning, so I haven't watched much of anything. We work during the day at home, and then we just don't even want to look at a screen anymore.
Yeah.
But the luchadores and luchadoras are the most highly trained athletes in the world as far as wrestling goes.
So the trap that
they're tumbling, and people think it's just the high flying wrestling, but their tumbling skills and their getting on the mat, getting up off the mat is unsurpassed.
Yeah, we didn't want to fall into a trap of just doing, because I think to the American audience, you think of Lucha Libre, you immediately default to the WCW cruiserweights. And we've done a couple cruiserweight matches. The first show we did was Eddie and Ray, the Luchas de Espuestas, at Halloween Havoc 97. And we just did that one because we felt that was a good entry point, because everyone knows that match. It's one of the most beautiful wrestling matches of all time.
You guys did that justice too. Like I listened. I was going to bring it up last time, but all the credit. You guys did a great job.
All the credit goes to Kid Riot, because he loves lucha like Harker does. He respects the style, all that. I'm just learning and getting my foot in the door. But I mean, we've done a couple WCW matches. I don't think that it's, by the time this comes out, it'll be up yet. But we just did a WWE AAA match. It was a 4-way. Jack Cartwheel was in it. Lince Dorado. I don't remember the other two. Aerostar.
So new stuff.
Yeah, so we've been trying to jump around and run the gambit right now and like do some old stuff, some new stuff. I'm actually shocked, and not in a good way actually, that you would recommend something more modern, because I was expecting that he would be like, oh, here's something from the 80s, brother, that you should check out.
Anything Mil Mascaras.
Yes, I know you're a big fan of
If
him.
you look up, there are some from Japan. His ring entrances were crazy. He was so far over. There's one they have to carry him on their shoulders. Some of the young boys had to carry Mil Mascaras on their shoulders to get him through the crowd because everybody wants to rush and get their hands on him.
Yeah, godlike almost.
Crazy.
Like they, we have yet to really dive into, and again, for those of you listening that aren't on the Patreon, $5 tier, that's where you can hear this show. We haven't done anything. I think the oldest thing that we've done is like 97. We haven't really gone too majorly far back, but we did Super Crazy versus Tajiri from ECW, and that's not necessarily a traditional lucha match, but it's got a luchador in it, so we're trying to run the gambit on things. But yeah, that was one thing that I told Kid Riot, I was like, I'm going to ask Harker for a recommendation, so whenever that show comes up, Harker, we'll have to get you a link to that so you can hear our thoughts on it. But yeah, that was something that was really that I wasn't expecting, is that Harker Dirge is a fan of lucha. And I think with the acquisition of AAA, a lot more people are learning to appreciate it, you know?
Yeah, I would say so. And you're like with the Ray and Eddie thing with the lucha show, and some of these other newer things that you guys are talking about, that may make the most sense because you're not going straight to a deep cut and then almost turning off a modern listener. Give them something that they know, and then once they realize, oh, this is a thing I like, then give them the deeper stuff, you know?
Yeah.
I wasn't trained to like lucha libre. I'll tell you what, Adrian hated it. He wrestled in Mexico quite a bit, and he said anything in Mexico that resembles professional wrestling is purely coincidental.
Really?
Yeah.
But oddly enough, he got his nickname Exotic Adrian Street from Mexico because they call him, on the magazines, they'd put him on the cover and call him Adrian El Exotico, which they have the exoticals like Pimpinella Escarlata.
Yeah,
Feminine male wrestlers.
Yeah.
And they thought Adrian was an exotico. He wasn't, but they thought that he was. That's the best way they knew how to brand him. So when he came to the States then and started wrestling more often, they figured he needed a better name, you know, more of a nickname than just Adrian Street. So he came up with Exotic because that's what they would call him in Mexico.
I've come to really appreciate the art form of it.
So
I
wrestling
really have.
in Mexico, he carried something from Mexico for the rest of his life.
Yeah, I was getting ready to say that's surprising, but if you really think about it, I mean, he's the British style, and
it's totally different.
The lucha libre style, totally different. And I mean, you know, you look at the old world of sports stuff, couldn't be any further from what the luchadors are doing. Couldn't be any further. Complete different ends of the spectrum.
But it's the inspiration in the weirdest spots. I talked about how I got finishes for a match from a cartoon, and these different
Flying
things.
butt pliers?
Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
That one. That's another paid show topic. I mean, we'll go ahead and do a video on that one.
But yeah, because that's what, you know, he doesn't really follow the modern product a whole lot. And
did you know Maxine Dupree won the Intercontinental title?
Keep going. What were you saying?
But he was talking about how he watches the AAA stuff, and he got really into the El Grande match. And there's a video on YouTube that it's like an hour long, and it explains the story of how they got to that match, and it makes you appreciate that match so much more.
The build-up.
The build-up is incredible for that match,
Maxine
Harker.
Dupree the one? I saw a video online recently of a girl opening up a pack of trading cards.
No, that was Tiffany Stratton. I know the one.
Tiffany Stratton, my gosh. What is wrong with
SGT
these
Slaughter.
people? That.
Yeah.
I don't care that she doesn't know who wrestlers are from before she was born. But that she doesn't know that SGT is the common abbreviation for sergeant.
Did you know about this?
Is inexcusable. What has happened to the public education system in this country that a young woman who's professionally employed doesn't know that SGT means sergeant? They use it in the military. They use it in the police. I'm sure they use it at Pizza Hut where she used to work.
So
go ahead.
Okay,
You just
continue.
smarten him up.
Tiffany Stratton was doing a pack rip of the WWE trading cards, the
Okay.
Topps cards, and she was like going through, and she's like, "Oh, here's
Sarah.
yeah, oh yeah." She said, "Here's a Viscera, Viscera."
Of course.
I forgot about that one. And then she goes, "Oh, looks like we've got SGT Slaughter."
Mhm.
And then it was yeah. I was just talking about that the other
I
day.
do not care if somebody in wrestling who's 20-something years old doesn't know people who were around when I was a kid, but not to know SGT means sergeant. Plus,
Yeah.
he's obviously got a military gimmick.
Mhm.
We have
Man.
failed as a society.
She didn't. That's a former WWE champion right there.
Yeah.
Show him respect. Show
She's a
him
former
respect.
WWE champion.
Former
G.I.
WWE. one.
Joe.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was on the Super Mario Brothers Super Show as well. That's one of my favorite photos
That's cool.
of them. It's so funny.
Macho Man Randy Savage was on the Weird Al show. He had to fight Harvey the Wonder Hamster and tapped out.
I love that. I love
That
that.
is unfortunate.
Harvey's the man. You can't beat him.
He never bites. He never
No,
squeals. He
he
just
never
runs around on
does.
a hamster wheel.
He made Macho Man squeal that day.
Oh, I
Say
love that.
Oh.
That's so funny. But no, so like, we've had a pretty good, like you said, you didn't want to get like too like doom and gloom and serious or whatever. But there's been a couple of things that I really wanted to get into. I know this kind of feels like it's coming out of left field, but
It
it's
comes with a
something.
kick in the crotch.
I felt as though that I was kicked in the crotch when this stuff happened. And I know to you, this probably means absolutely nothing. But to me, even though this was like 12, 13 years ago, it's been very obvious. Harker is someone that I respect so much in the business. I've always
He
respected
doesn't
you.
know any better.
Always have. But there were a couple of things that I did that like I know that I let you down specifically, and I've never fully had the opportunity to apologize for them. And you have probably no memory of these, but these are things that it's like, I want to just get them out there and be like, look, dumb young punk kid who was only 2 years into the business and didn't understand that when you say you're going to be at a show, you be at a show, and all that other stuff. But there was one Georgetown show where I decided I just didn't want to come. I was just going to be like, oh, I'm going to hang out with my girlfriend at the time, and this is our anniversary coming up. And I heard through the grapevine that upset you a lot because you were like, you know how many anniversaries I've missed? And so this is my formal.
I hold a ring instead of going to my great grandmother's funeral.
Yeah. And so it's stuff like that. So at this point for you, let me formally apologize because like that.
Well,
now,
I don't remember it. So I guess
yeah,
it's
exactly.
okay.
And now that I have been around as long as I've been, I understand what I did was absolutely wrong. The second one, you mentioned Powerhouse Wrestling. I was supposed to give a referee a ride to a show, and this was going to be my foot in the door to get to meet with Tim Lyle and be like, I'm a manager. If you would like to use me, here's what I offer. And there was supposed to be this big snowstorm that was going to come in. It ended up not coming in, mind you. So I felt even more like an asshole. But I ended up canceling day of, and I was like, I don't want to drive through this snowstorm. So then Harker takes to Facebook, and he goes,
Did I have one of those?
You used to.
Oh.
You used to. I don't want to say what the names of them were. But you get on there, and they're like, this snowstorm that was supposed to come, I drove 70 miles all the way home
On
straight.
skis.
On skis.
Backward.
And then like there was a moment where we're backstage at Georgetown and Harker goes, and this time I'm managing Blake Reed, and this was the gut punch of where I was like, oh, I let someone I consider a mentor down. Where you go up to Blake Reed and you're like, hey, I got a spot that needs filled in Streeter for Powerhouse Wrestling. Would you be interested in doing it? And Blake Reed's like, yeah. And I'm standing there like, is he going to make the offer to me? And then you just walked away.
Take a walk.
And I'm like, well, that was me. I had
Blake
to.
Reed and Willie became tag team champions for one night because of that.
Yeah. And I could have been managing them if I wouldn't have had the, but no, like I know.
Was that the day I tried to get you a kayak? Was it the fans bring the weapons?
No, that was in Champaign at 01.
No. It was you. It was you and Tim versus Blake and.
It was a no
Cecil.
DQ.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's on YouTube.
Because there was a yard sale in town, and I stopped there, and the people got really mad at me because I didn't know what a kayak was, and I kept calling it a canoe, and I was really trying to workshop how we were going to. Yeah. It's
that a kayak town?
It's a kayak town, brother.
No clue.
But I kept calling it a canoe, and I was trying to figure out how am I going to workshop this to get this over there to the match to be like, Harker, I got you a gimmick, brother.
I don't know, because there was one where I wrestled Carrot, and he came with some Chinaman hat with a braid down the back.
Carrot was just
and
doing
that came
stuff
from a yard sale.
Yeah, Carrot used to just do things. He still does
stuff.
And I told him, jump start me with that hat on. And he did, and I blocked a punch and hit him, and the hat fell off. So I clotheslined him with it. Then I put it on and started doing it.
Oh, no.
Speaking of luchadors and hats.
Canceled for it.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Speaking of luchadors and hats, Super Colo's hat never fell off.
It never did.
He knew what he was doing.
Him and Curry Man.
Curry Man, yeah. He's hot, he's spicy, he tastes great. But no, that may have came out of left field, but I knew that was one thing I wanted to cover on this podcast of like.
I just want to say Blake Reed took that second rope bulldog that I used to do better than anybody.
He sure did.
I wish everybody knew how to do that. I don't know
I
what
sure
he did.
didn't. So since we're apology tour right now,
Yeah.
apologies for.
I gave you one in some high school show with a really good crowd in Indiana, and you fell forward, and I'm like, how did I end up pinning him this way? He did like a head over heels thing
I sure did.
on a bulldog.
I sure did. I don't have a clue. It just kind of happened like that. That was the day Boogie Woogie Man Jimmy Valiant was there, and he was talking about
He
all the
mummified a
spots.
toilet in the locker room.
He did?
Yeah, he's a germaphobe, and he went back there. He went back there to take a dump in the locker room, and I went out. He came out, and a little while later, I went in after him. I had to pee. I wasn't going to sit down, but I looked, and the toilet was completely wrapped in toilet paper like a mummy. He had wrapped all the way around the seat, all the way around the toilet. It looked like a toilet mummy.
Toilet mummy.
So I always remember that night for the mummified toilet and the backward bulldog.
Yeah.
The night of the mummified toilet. That sounds like a
That's a
Goosebumps book.
Goosebumps
That's a
book,
Goosebumps
yeah.
I
book.
think that was the one Greg Valentine was there, but he was just
Sure
doing
was.
an autograph signing, and he
Do you
wore
want to
like
see my picture of Greg Valentine?
No, I don't want to see yours. He wore it looked like a woman's sports coat with hearts on it. And I know I was trying to watch the matches, and I forgot he was there. He was in front of me in the back, looking through. There was a hallway, and you could look through these double doors. And I thought, I wish this gym teacher would get out of the way. I thought he was the women's gym teacher because he kind of looked like an old lesbian.
That's not the first time that comparison's been made.
And I remember making that, and he turned around like, "Hey, Greg, what's going
Coach
on?"
Beast from season 1 of Glee. Is that a reference you understand?
No.
Okay. Maybe look her up after the podcast is over.
I was just watching a video. It was from Deadlock, which is my favorite wrestling podcast. That's not mine, of course. And they were doing the review of the XWF shows that Brian Knobs and Jimmy Hart tried to get going. And they had this bit that they kept doing on the show where like Greg Valentine was like kept walking around like, why am I not booked? Why am I not booked? And there's a short that was made from it, and it's Horace Hogan and Greg Valentine looking at the card for the night, and Greg Valentine's like, why am I not booked? And then Horace Hogan like, yeah, why am I not booked? And then Greg Valentine gives him this look of like, because you're Horace Hogan and I'm Greg Valentine.
Well,
because you're Horace Hogan is a good reason. Though.
He doesn't actually say it, but the commentary they give to it is so great.
when you said you wanted to apologize for something, I thought I'm glad I didn't jump the gun and say that I knew what it was. What happens in the locker room stays in the locker room.
We need to talk. I don't know what you're referring to. I genuinely
don't remember the gossip.
You've talked about this
Something
before.
went on back there. It was at 01 in Champaign.
I know the story. You
Center.
said 01. I know the story now.
And something went on back there, and all of a sudden, all the girls at the merch table knew about it. And it was because you told your significant other at the time what was going on.
Oh, maybe I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I don't remember what the exact details were.
See, I don't
but that's when I told you the lesson. No, we have our culture in here, and it doesn't leave that door.
And I'm not denying that I might have done that. I'm sure I did, but I truly have no memory of that.
You didn't care.
I will admit to you,
He wasn't smart enough to know that was wrong. That's the family, but this is the extended family.
Yes.
The girlfriends, the wives, and
it's not even necessarily if we're doing anything bad back there. It's just that this is this and that's that, because they might talk out front and then a fan hears and then they know what maybe the booking is, or,
And my first run, when I came in, I was very like that, for lack of a better term. I was, we talk about loose lip sync ships, and I'm sure that I did do that. I don't remember what it could have been. The one
I wish I knew, but I didn't.
And I'm not denying it, because I'm sure that did happen. That seems very much like something that I would have done at that time, because again, I just didn't care. I was full. Now, the one that I thought you were talking about was, there was one where, we have a sighting of a squirrel.
In the yard.
We have a live squirrel sighting here in the yard.
It's Bozo Nose.
No, the one.
Don't be glossing over Bozo Nose.
His name's Bozo Nose?
It's a girl.
Oh, girl. Okay. It's a girl.
Come on, what do you name a boy Bozo Nose?
Yeah, that'd be chaos.
I didn't mean to cut you off.
The one that I was referring to was where a promoter might have been unhappy with something that was going on, and I gave Harker the Iggy of like, hey, they're upset, and then Harker just exploded, not on me, but at the situation. And then we can talk more on Paid Show. I'll say exactly what it was. And I thought that's what you were referring to.
You want to know?
Yeah, it's gonna go ahead and pull out old skeletons,
Yeah.
Brian recently told me you and I had a match one time.
I know. Yeah. I'm ashamed, or not ashamed, but I'm a little hurt that you don't remember it, Harker. And what's funny about
He
it.
had a match with me too. Did you know that?
I did?
Yeah. No, he did.
Oh, he did. Yeah. He's had like a dozen matches with you.
Yeah.
Your whole last run was just versus Harker.
Yeah, I was just by your own admission that I was just your own personal job guy.
Yeah.
And I had no problem with that.
But
I know you weren't going to hurt me too much.
Not too much.
There was one we wrestled at the mall when we first learned about urban exploration.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
And my only bump I was going to take, I got out on the floor. I told him body slam me on the floor. He slammed me crooked. I smashed my elbow on the floor. It was bleeding all over the place.
That was the same day that the magician that looked like Billy Corgan. Do you remember? Do you remember the magician?
With the stigmatism?
It looked like Billy Corgan. So I'll tell this story. So it was at a 0-1 show. It was some kind of small convention. They were doing
horror and something.
It was like KillCon is what it was called. It was called KillCon, Central Illinois Con, and they were doing a wrestling show. And the girlfriend that I would apparently give info from the locker room to, she lived relatively close to the venue. I was out of the business, like, let's go. Fun fact, this is the show where Brian approached me and said, Harker wants you, and don't keep this sealed. Harker's done. He wants you in his last match. And I was like, okay, cool. But anyway, where the ring was set up, there was a stage where a magician was doing a show, and I don't remember what caused all the trouble. I don't remember at all, but Harker was just livid because his show was running long or something, and Harker goes, I'm about to get in that ring and start bumping. And then he goes,
well, it was in an old
It was an old Sears.
It was an old Sears that had been abandoned, so that's where they put the ring, and he had a stage over next to that. And then the convention went throughout the whole mall, but then to come in see the shows, you had to come in there. So we had the locker rooms were the old dressing rooms, the changing rooms, or try-on rooms, whatever you call them. And we had done the show there before, and we'd always just go in there, put our bags, hang out, and wait till the matches. He had his show. He wanted everybody out of the dressing room so we didn't see his secrets.
That's what it was.
Oh, okay,
like he was the only one with secrets.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Well, I don't want you seeing my secrets either, so why don't we just stay out of each other's way? So then the management comes, oh, well, you guys have to stay out here. Well, I went in the back of his crowd during the show, and I was staring a hole through him until I found out he was half blind and couldn't see me. So then when I said that, well, then I'll just go start making noise if he can't see.
So then Harker is just standing there fuming, and he calls him Billy Corgan. So I found a Photoshop of Billy Corgan, and I went and showed it to Harker. And it was the funniest thing Harker had ever seen up to that point in his life. And he grabbed his phone. He goes, oh, he ran over to his wife, and he goes, look, Billy Corgan. It was just so funny. But that was like, he made the comment about the secrets or whatever, and Harker goes, screw him, I'll eat him.
I was gonna say, I knew you threatened to eat him.
Yeah.
And you said it with full
Well,
sincerity.
I really would not eat anyone. I just meant like, it's an old
As you
school term.
chew right now into the
I'll eat
microphone.
his lunch,
I'll eat his lunch. Yeah, that's what the kids called beating his ass. Essentially, I will eat your lunch. But no, that was a fun one. That was a fun one. I'm trying to think of other.
But
really,
if you want to do well in anything, especially wrestling, you have to get to a certain level of intensity.
Yeah.
And when that gets broken, that energy goes somewhere.
yeah,
And I'm not an outgoing person. I've got to get myself psyched up. And when I'm in the back, in the locker room, whatever the locker room, makeshift locker room is, I've got to get in my headspace. And you take me out of that, I'm still in that headspace.
yeah. Yeah, and seeing how you would get ready for matches, 100% you get in a headspace. And like, even just for that, it's like, what are the fans going to think? All these wrestlers that are getting ready to wrestle each other are all standing out watching the magician.
Hanging out.
And he sucked.
I feel like it was a sense of elitism as well. Like, oh,
Yes.
I'm a real performer, not these guys.
There probably
not
was.
these type of guys, because wrestling is considered a low hanging fruit of like entertainment.
Yeah.
You know,
Versus the guy doing pick a card.
right. And
Yeah.
then, but
I got your nose.
magicians.
I think I got your nose was his big trick.
Yeah.
Put his thumb between his fingers. I got your nose.
But no,
do not have my nose.
You had mentioned Urbex. We did do a lot of talking about that on that show, because the moment I remember also from that is after the show, you said, Dickie, come on. And we went and walked around this abandoned Sears, and we were walking all in the back, and we got caught. And you went, oh, I used to work here. I'm just showing him around. And he goes, okay, well, you guys need to go. And you went, okay. And then you're like, and then we just kind of kept walking around.
Should have had a vest and a ladder. You can get anywhere with a vest and a ladder.
Yeah. Yeah. But that's when you turned me on to Urbex, and I've been a fan of it since.
I used to do it when I was a kid, but they called it breaking and entering when we got
Yeah.
That's a good point.
Yeah. We did a little bit of Urbex when we went to the Indiana State Sanatorium.
Yeah.
That
And
was
it's
cool.
urban exploration. That's going into an abandoned building,
Yeah. Yeah. This really wasn't Urbex. This was more, you're going to because this wasn't really
Yeah.
urban. This was, one of the most haunted places in the state.
Yeah, we had to sign a waiver.
Yeah. We did hear voices. We caught a shadow figure. It was intense.
There was enough to make it a good
That's
little
demons, dude. Don't mess with them.
trip. Mhm.
Yeah.
I just kept climbing things for some reason. You know me in heights. I don't do that, but I was like, what's that? There's a ladder. Let's see if it's stable.
You had a monkey demon on your back.
Right.
surprised you didn't get tetanus where you climbed up too. But no, we went to the nursing home.
Gonorrhea.
We went to the old nursing home that was attached to it, and that's like the most spiritually active spot. And I did catch shadows. We heard, we caught a little girl's voice who was mocking Kara. She repeated what Kara said. It was a trip. It was a trip. It was.
It's demons, man. People don't think it's real, but it is.
No, I believe it. And like, that was the first paranormal experience that I'd ever had in person. And it shook me to my core because I heard the girl's voice with my own ear. I heard it. And then because we had a deal. We're not going to work each other. We're not going to try to mess with each other. We're not going to try to scare each other, whatever. So I hear it, I register it, and I'm like, okay, keep filming. I stop and I go, hey guys, powwow. Did any of you just make a voice? I'm like, no. Are we honest to God? Yeah. And I said, well, we need to review some footage because I caught something. And we did. It was an intense day. And then we filmed the Mad Cow vignettes there.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Then we had Colby walking around in a cow mask. So
Yeah.
kind of undercut the the seriousness.
Maybe it was
of
the ghost
situation.
of Billy Corgan.
Could have been. Yeah. Oh man, but well, I think we're going to start to wrap up this portion of our time with Harker, but not to oversell it or overstate it or anything. You guys are going to be in for a treat. Harker is going to be joining us for Page Show, but before we end the podcast here, Harker, there is one thing. It's not an apology again. One thing that we kind of want to do here for you. I've talked about you ad nauseum about how much I've respected you as a performer, as a human being, what you've meant for my career. So Harker,
he's trying to get me to go in the trunk of his car. He wants to take pictures.
I knew he was going to ruin the moment by doing something like that.
I mean, he's half right.
Harker, we would like to welcome you to the MadBash Wrestling Hall of Fame.
The Hall of Fame. Oh, my goodness. What he has handed me is a beautifully framed certificate that says MadBash Wrestling Hall of Fame, Class of 2026, proudly presented to Harker Dirge for your excellence and achievements in professional wrestling.
Yeah.
Signed in chicken scratch. That your signature?
That's my Dickie Wabash signature.
Good job. Good job. It's better than John Cena's.
Oh, Cena's is terrible, but
no, I appreciate it. That's wonderful. Look.
Yeah, that'll go good right there on the wall.
Right there. It's
you are in the company of Shank Barzini, is also in the MadBash Wrestling Hall of Fame. He was our first inductee. And then do you remember Walt Barron? He's also in our Hall of Fame as well. So he was an old he's a ring announcer and a booker.
Oh, wow.
He used to run
How's
iWow.
Walt doing?
He's doing good. He's doing good.
Walt, if you're listening, love you, brother.
Yeah, he came back and he's the ring announcer for my shows now, so that's pretty cool. But yeah, you're the third inductee into our Hall of Fame that we decided to start. We just want
to charm.
Yeah, we just want to give flowers to people that deserve it. So Harker, congratulations.
No, this is better than flowers. This is a plaque I could put this on. The wall. Flowers are wilt and fade.
Just hopefully you don't try to hang it on a pole and wrestle Travis Weir for it.
Is that an option? Can we do that? Travis is ready. He'll do it. He'll do it this weekend.
Is he? Because the last time I put him over, he left town.
Well, yeah. So did I. When you put me over, I left town.
See how that works?
Yeah. Because there was no greater honor.
Nobody knows what we're talking about, but I appreciate that.
I know.
That's a good deal right there.
Yeah, you deserve it. You've been such an influence on me, on V, on so many other people. Someone that you don't even know, Dalton Davis, is he's a worker. He's a huge fan of yours. He's influenced by you. He used to be the old bell ringer in Georgetown. He was a little kid ringing the bell, and he would always come, and he always talked about. He's actually the one that he was doing the Harker toe tap, and he found out what that does to your boots, and he's like, I better stop doing that.
Toe.
He's like, I better stop doing that. But yeah, I don't know if you'll remember this picture.
And then did he do the cowboy gimmick?
No,
he's never done a cowboy
He's never
gimmick.
did that gimmick?
No, he does
Dalton
Davis.
Okay,
his gimmick's the Bud Light Brawler.
Bud Light. It's close.
Yeah, and he's
better than Busch Light.
He's one of our he's one of our mainstays in MadBash Wrestling. He's very influenced by you. He loves your work. Of course, I don't think that anyone V has been, considers you a mentor. I consider you maybe an unwilling mentor. But yeah, that honor, we wanted to give that to you, and we're glad that you like it. It's an honor to have you on board. Just bought that frame a couple of days ago.
It says on the back, "Do not hang with wire." But can you hang it with fire?
There we go.
And also, not for nothing, but he doesn't have a ton of history directly with you, but Michael Madrox holds you in very, very high regard.
He does. Pretty much anyone who's involved with MadBash, we really hold you in very high regard. I don't know if you've ever met Madrox. He's my person that I started the company with. He's going through a lot of health issues right now, so we hope he's getting better.
Always.
I do too. Goodwill.
Yes, but he's always liked your work. So if it felt wrong to have a Hall of Fame and not have you in it. So
well, that's right.
Yeah,
you were right now for being wrong. Now you're wrong. Now you're not wrong. You're right.
It's always a promo. I love it. But Harker, again, congratulations. Thank you for getting on here with us. For those of you on the Patreon, we're going to roll into Page Show with Harker. I'm sure that's going to be a fun discussion.
Page Show Harker might be something you need in your life.
You know what's funny? I've already forgot a couple of the stories that we were going to tell.
Of course you did.
I do remember the 0-1 story. I do remember that.
I remember the other one then.
Yeah. Okay.
We're good.
So we're going to go ahead We're going to go ahead and hop off here for Jason V, for the MadBash Wrestling Hall of Famer, Harker Dirge.
Hold on, do his plugs.
Oh, yeah, Harker, do you got any plugs that you want to
upcoming
give
dates.
people?
Where are we going to see you?
Feeding squirrels.
Squirrels. Yeah.
And cardinals and
We're gonna
crows.
find-
I've got some crows now, the family. I could do stories now. You're signing off. I'm not going to
Yeah,
get going on.
we'll go ahead
Go
and
ahead.
sign off, and we'll get into some crow
Two
talk.
words, genetic memory.
Oh, there it is.
That's ominous.
There it is. Upcoming dates real quick for us. August 29th, MadBash Wrestling presents Ruthless in Marshall,
home.
Illinois. We will see everyone there. So for Hall of Famer Harker Dirge, for Jason V, I've been Dickie Wabash, and we will see you down the road on some form of content.